A fantastic ideas aftermath. Has this ever happened to you? You get a fantastic idea that's just sure to work, only to find out that you have a disaster instead, making a mess that you cannot shirk. It seemed so logical at the time that you knew that was what you had to do. If you followed the logic of that idea, surely no disaster would come to you. Well, let me tell you the sad tale of my fantastic idea that really wasn't good. It involved a box of wine I had, and I'll try to relate it as I should. You see, I buy my wine in cardboard boxes. It's more economical that way. And I enjoy a glass or two, and sometimes more, almost every single day. The box I was currently using was getting mighty low, so a new one I'd soon need. An unopened one was brought in to be opened for me with all speed. Somehow, in moving it into the kitchen, it had developed a leaky hole somewhere. So the wine had to be poured into another container, and doing it with care. One large jug held 4 liters, that's a lot, but there was still more to store away. A smaller one was found and filled, then both were saved for another day. Now the box I was using wasn't empty yet, so the container sat there for a day or so. But one evening, as I tried to siphon wine from the box, I felt that I didn't know how it should go. Then the following morning, that fantastic idea came charging into my head. Thinking about pouring wine from into a glass again from that big old jug just filled me with dread. What if I opened the top of the box and pulled up the bag that holds the wine, and cut a small hole in one corner, and with a funnel I could fill it up just fine? Now, doesn't that sound like a great idea that any one of you might get? Well, just wait till the end of this sad tale, because I haven't got there yet. So that's exactly what I did. I was so proud of myself for being so smart. That evening, with my nice pretty glass in hand, my first glass of the evening, I went to start. Only nothing came out of the spigot, except for one small drop or two. So I shook the box, I opened it up, and gave the bag a push. What else could I do? I didn't understand why the dang thing was acting like it was empty now, so I turned the spigot on and off again, hoping that would make it work somehow. Finally, I just had to give up. But I just knew that I'd have better luck the next day getting it to pour. After all, I still had those other plastic containers, and I couldn't wish for more. So I reached into the fridge, lifted the small one out, took the lid off, and dropped it. That wine flew out like a rushing river all over me and everything it hit. It was the biggest mess you can imagine. That was what I saw as I looked around. It took half a roll of big paper towels to soak it all up the wine that I found. 3/4 of an hour later, it was as good as it was going to get, but still no wine for me. I almost gave up on indulging myself, but by then I really deserved it, you see. So once again, I got that dang box out, opened it, and cut off the whole bag's top. I got out small jars with lids and ladled the wine into them down to the last drop. Finally, I was able to relax with my pretty glass of wine, sipping all my cares away. To say I was tired from the result of my fantastic idea is more than I can say. I guess the reason my idea didn't work the way I was just sure that it would was that big bag was vacuum sealed, and I had broken that seal for good. The moral of the story, if in fact there is one, is use a grain of caution to temper every idea you get. And remember the disaster my fantastic idea made. That's one that I will never forget.